Hello, Stephen Oliver, March 21st, 2023, Glass Class Apple. This video is about the current situation facing the United States and all the treason and all that. All right, with Donald Trump filing against these counterfeit ballots. All right, he filed 7 times, was it? Against election results in which did not exist yet. Now, they told him the first time that he filed, so you can't do that. You know, these election results, they don't even exist yet. All right, they were counterfeit ballots. And he filed 7 times against counterfeit ballots, and they never allowed him to file against these ballots because they were not result. You can't file against something that don't exist yet. So he used up all his court filings before it was ever even announced what the results were. All right, now anybody in this country, as long as you're a registered voter, you can file against them too. He ain't the only person that can file against them. But I noticed that not another person even bothered to file. What good would it do? All right, now I filed in a federal court in Pensacola, and according to that alleged federal court, marijuana don't make money. The #1 cash crop in history, but according to the United States of America government, it don't make money. What a lie. Okay, now that alone, that's part of the treason. All right, now, so where does this come from? Where did it all originate? The brain frags of Saigon. John James Breckenridge Jr. is a known and documented enemy, and the FBI helps him to conduct treason and steal my money. And they've known they was doing it since the start. All right, it started out with Eddie Corrigan Jr., right? And he walks up after I win a songwriting contest with MTV back in spring break 1988. I wrote the Flame lyrics, performed by Cheap Trick. And Eddie comes up and acting like he did it or whatever. I don't even know what he said, other than when he walks up to me and says, "Hey, Breck, I told him I'm your manager." I said, "Eddie, you need to go tell that man the truth right now. You need to go make sure that he understands you're not my manager, because I don't need a manager. He's a publisher, and he owns MTV, and I don't need a manager. So go tell him the truth." And then he goes over there and talks to him again. Apparently he didn't do nothing but tell him more lies. All right, well, a year later, I done wrote plenty more songs, and MTV hadn't said nothing to me, so I figured there's something up here. So I called Eddie up. And I wanted to save our farm. Mom was talking about selling the farm, and I was like, "No, I done got money. We ain't got to sell the farm." And Eddie denied knowing anything at all. So you tell me, Dreamweaver, who's that guy claiming to be my manager? If it ain't Eddie Corrigan Jr., and he was lying that night, and I told him, "Hey, man, you need to go tell him the truth," what do you say in the matter? Are you stealing my money too, so you can help conduct this treason? Don't make any sense that you are. It's your money too. Our deal. Ain't got nothing to do with Eddie. Never did, never will. All right, there's that. Then there's this Biden fella and all these other political employees of We the People. All right, that's my money. Those are my certificates, and those are my board rights. All right, now you got a brain frag from Saigon, the Masons. John James Breckenridge Sr., he was a Mason. He arranged with the Masons to have him employed by the state of Alabama in an accounting office. Right there, never leave the office, never have a gun. He stays right there where they can keep an eye on him. a brain frag, sentenced for treason, allowed such an interior's job. Man, I ain't happy with the Masons. And if my granddaddy was still alive today after, I'd put my foot up his ass and not care. Thou shalt honor the mother and the father, and he exploited that. I don't care, I'd put my foot up his ass anyway. That ain't no honor. And so for Breckenridge Jr. to even accept this, knowing he's been sentenced for treason, take a look at that. What kind of dishonor is that? He ain't got no honor. He's a complete liar and fraud. Everything he got, he stole from the state. All right, now what turned me on to him? All right, one time he told me that they took his license because he retired. Now I'm reading an article. Said, okay, this fella who is a lawyer, and the whole time he was claiming to be a lawyer, that is to say, Breckenridge Jr. claimed to be a lawyer with the state of Alabama, and when he was an accountant. Why did he lie about his occupation? Oh, that's so he could embezzle and not be a suspect. You wouldn't be a suspect unless you was the accountant. But if everybody thought you was a lawyer and didn't know that you were really actually the accountant, then you'd be a suspect. So he was just providing decoy, lying about everything so he could embezzle from the state and bribe politicians, which is what he did. Now, the FBI in Mobile, Alabama, where's your part? You knew that money was being stolen from the state and you didn't give a damn because it went in your pocket. You accomplice treason. All right, then there's how you help steal my money. All right, I don't care where you thought it was. So what if you thought it was coming from the state? You think I give a damn? That's my money. That's my certificate rights. That's my board rights. I'm the one who says what's what in all them board member meetings. No one else. It don't belong to Dreamweaver. He's allowed the principal and cumulative. It don't belong to Eddie. He's nothing but a thief and fraud. It don't belong to some brain frag who ain't allowed anything other than a state ID and a passport. He's not even allowed to use a postage stamp without the JAG permission. And the FBI don't seem to mind giving him all the help he needs conducting treason. These weapons are gonna kill you because you deserve it. And all what pay taxes to the United States of America who are helping them to take our freedom, hey, you got it coming too. Class Apple. Thank you for watching.
Okay, we got two issues going on here, so I'm going to try and hit them both real quick in the interest of time. Number one, when this started, the World Health Organization released two codes for deaths of COVID-19, U07.1 and 7.2. 7.1 is for a lab-confirmed diagnosis. 7.2 is for presumed or clinical diagnosis. It says it right here. Come down here. April 17th, right? You guys remember that? It was only a few days ago. Anybody remember the death toll? Like what, 30, 40,000? Not according to the CDC. It was 13,130. A third of what you were told on the news. Odd. But here's the kicker. Even this number's padded. You see that 7.1? Uh-oh, they got a little number 1 after it. That means they've done something. Down here, deaths with confirmed or presumed COVID-19 coded to ICD-10 code U07.1. Why not use 7.2? Yeah, real. Why not use 7.2? I'll tell you why in a second. Doctors and nurses everywhere freaked out on March 4th when this came out. This is from the National Vital Statistics System, issued by Stephen Schwartz, the director. It started instructing them for the first time in 50 years on how to fill out a death certificate. They had questions, nonetheless, so they started asking those questions. On the 24th, Schwartz came out with, there we go, alert number 2. Remember the date, March 24th. This is important. You're about to see it in action, folks. So down here, he tells them explicitly, in bold print, or is presumed to have caused or contributed to the death, that it should be put on the death certificate. Now, if you know legalese, that's what they just did to you. There's no punctuation there. So all of that is one thing. So what they're telling you is if COVID-19 is assumed to have contributed to the death, you are to mark it as a COVID-19 death on the death certificate. So out of all these pandemics that actually happened, where we have real data, you get down to the last flu season, 2017, 2018. Did you guys even know that 80,000 people died that flu season? Did you know that almost 1 million Americans were hospitalized? Yeah, most people don't. Because here's the sad part. We're never going to know the real COVID-19 numbers because they're combining them all. So we will never have accurate data. Now, you guys are all down here for this isolation thing, right? I'm going to show you this real quick. July 2020. You see it right there, highlighted. July 2020, volume 26, number 7. This is a leaked CDC document we're giving you today from Debunk This Fauci. Find this hashtag, find our videos, find all the real data, folks. This says... Is that how we find you then? We go there? Yep, you can Google search that. This says right here in all this cool highlighted stuff, I'll give you the gist, that home isolation might not be a good control strategy. Why? Because it leads to increased familial cluster infections. In other words, it's making it worse, folks.
Thank you.
100% proof that they're